everybody. My name is Kate. Welcome to my channel. I am a recovering fundamentalist believer, meaning I used to think that the world was very black and white, and that was the only way to view it. I am journeying out of that and exploring spirituality in fantastic, new, much more engaging ways, and this is where I share about it. Welcome home. You're going to want to hit subscribe or that bell because I am definitely going to be making more than one video about today's topic, which is community, and there's no way that you can catch it all in one video. So here we go. Today I want to talk about why the church may not be the place to find community. I know that that's a scary thing, and I'm going to upset a lot of people just by that intro, but if the way that we decide whether or not community is healthy for us is by a measuring stick that looks like this, does it add value to my life? Then sometimes we have to recognize that the church or the institution of religious formation that we've been familiar with may not actually be the best way for us to get value added to our lives. So this is not a conclusive list. This is not a list of everything ever that you're ever going to remember as an unhealthy thing for you, but it's just a little bit of a reflection for why when I took a break from church or synagogue or temple or whatever your story is, why I decided that this was definitely a choice for me. So some of the things that I noticed in my journey, and I was like, oh, I don't think the church can reflect the things that I've learned to value anymore. Where things like the super obvious one to me was dogma. Like I had been taught this fundamentalist ideal that told me to think a precise prescriptive way that somebody else's experience with how they interpreted or experienced a relationship with the Spirit should therefore be manifest on me and everybody else. Not even in everybody else in my community, but everybody in the known world should have this same universal understanding. And boy, now that just sounds like the most ridiculous thing ever, to say that one person's worldview, because they have a title or experience or a position of authority, should get to dictate everybody else's experience with divinity is so very egocentric and focused on one individual experience, and kind of undermines the fact that if you're a believer who believes in spirit, being able to commune with all people, it can be really damaging to take away an individual person's ability to directly communicate by creating a filter person who says this is the only way that you can hear this story or apply this story or even regard this story. There's just a lot of damage there. So dogma obviously is a reason why I had a really hard time even beginning the journey of what does it mean for me to explore other institutions. If I hate institutions, why am I looking at other institutions? That I didn't realize that there were places that I could express my spirituality where I didn't have to have 100% of buy-in to an entire concept in order to be welcomed and worshiped there. That's true. It's pretty exciting. Also, sometimes the church isn't the right fit for you at some journey in your life because of historical shame. Historically, religious institutions have done so much oppressive, suffering harm that it is painful to associate yourself with it. And that is totally a legit reason all by itself to be I don't want to have my name on a registry anywhere like a church. It makes sense for me. Maybe you've just had bad experiences. Maybe you've tried it and you've gone and it doesn't resonate. It doesn't reflect your values of love or inclusion, and therefore it's hard for you to imagine willingly surrendering your life, your identity, your perception, your ability to think to a God that seems very narrow, critical, or unkind to you or to others. I've also been in churches where the identity was so everybody was same. It seemed like sameness was the goal. Everybody was white. Everybody liked this music. Everybody spoke English first. Everybody was at least an intermediate learner. Everybody having sameness there. All the leadership are male. All the leadership, that kind of thing. There's not a lot to learn. personally in those environments, because you're basically hearing you begin to just dissect concepts that are very unlikely to be different or to be challenged in a new way when the people who you're listening to are all exactly like you. That's not exactly the most ideal space for learning or adding value to your life, because if everybody's exactly like you potentially could have figured that out all by yourself. I also don't enjoy churches where I get talked at instead of talked with. And please know, I'm a huge advocate, especially for lecture style learning, because I like to learn that way. But I think it's really weird and unhealthy when churches, like, that is all they do, is get people together so they can listen to some guru in the room talk, and there's never any opportunity to like debrief and to translate what that means in individual context. So I want to be talked with, not just at. So those are some of my like top reasons why for a while churches were not the place where I found my community. And I do want to say there's hope at the end of the tunnel, like at least for me. And I kind of ping-ponged around in several different faith institutions until I found one. And I don't feel exclusive, like I have to be married to one way of communicating with God or one institution. And it's been fantastic to kind of take communities a la carte and get completely plugged in and committed while at the same time retaining my individualism. So I just wanted to give you permission to find community in other ways in the meantime while you're journeying, or maybe God's universe, energy, whatever language you want to name it, is drawing you to start a new thing. If you are really struggling with finding a place and integrating your faith into your community is really important to you, like it was to me, maybe God's calling you to initiate a whole new way of doing church in your community. So think about that. Anyway, I'm curious to read your comments below about what your journey has been like in that. Where are the alternative places that you have found community? Share your ideas so that we can all learn from each other and make each other strong through the hard journey of finding new identities. All right, thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.